State capital Asaba, the Delta APC commended the federal government for its decisive action and urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to continue its thorough investigation into the financial activities of other past state governors and public officials, adding that the diversion of harmonious state funds for personal enrichment, establishing a bank, and financing his own presidential ambition, as well as the manipulative imposition of his poor-paid godson as a governor against the wishes of the people of Delta State was questionable. The APC also said the arrest served as a warning to all public office holders, stressing that the era of impunity is over. Outgoing Edo State Governor Godswill Obaseki said the investment in the state's creative art and culture sector over the last 8 years has transformed the state into a center of excellence, repositioning the state as Africa's art, culture, and tourism hub. The governor, who described this when he led the former governor of Imo State, Emeka Idohalo, as former governor for Cross River State, Donald Duke, and other dignitaries and stakeholders to the officials unveiling the previews of the Museum of West African Arts Institute and campus in Benin. Obaseki, while addressing the diplomatic community representatives of international museums and other stakeholders at the unveiling and preview of the MOWAA campus, said the project as part of the state cultural district hold in means employment and investment potentials for the state and would be a key driver of tourism and economic growth. Speaking on the criticism and the trails the project, Obaseki said he did not pull down the hospital for a museum, but rather built a museum and a beta hospital. Angry villagers have demolished the family house of a murder suspect, Mr. Stephen Irobunda, in Ohakobo, Ndume, Umuahia, Abia State. The house was pulled down on Tuesday by youth of the communities in revenge for the death of their maternal son, Bright Eduzuru, who was shot dead by Mr. Irobunda. The suspect, who is about 70-year-old, shot dead by Bright Eduzuru, whom he accused of playing football in front of his house on Saturday, and is presently detained by the police at the State Criminal Investigation Department. The killing of the youth, whose maternal home is Ohokobo, created tension in the neighborhood on Saturday, and the Abia State Police Command said the matter is being investigated as the SCID Umuahia. Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, as the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, Akwa, Anambra State, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alusuwa, and the Permanent Secretary of Education, Mrs. Rakia Iyasu, for their intervention in the university's Vice-Chancellor's selection process. A statement signed by its chairman, Dr. Victor Modekwe, on Tuesday, the association described the intervention as the testament to the administration's responsiveness and the significant steps towards restoring confidence among academic community stakeholders. The memo signed by the ESO described the appointment as a gross disregard or constituted authorities and contrary to the existing provisions, and also annulled to recent appointment of the new registrar at the institution. Meanwhile, a Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria had criticized the action and conduct of the university's registrar, Dr. Rosemary Nwokike, particularly her recent correspondence with the Ministry of Education. The association reiterated its commitment to working with the government and relevant authorities to ensure the continued development and the integrity of the educational institutions. People's Democratic Party in Oyo State has described the attack on Governor Seyi Makinde by the All Progressives Congress as an indication that the ruling party is scared of Nigerians ahead of the 2027 election. Makinde, elected on the platform of the PDP, recently stated that the 2027 election would be a contest between the APC and angry Nigerians, many of whom were struggling to eke out living owing to the hardship inflicted on them by the ruling party party not happy with the statement. The APC, through its National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, came ahead on the PDP's chieftains, linking its attack on the President Bola Tinubu to his Makinde's rumored 2027 presidential ambition. Reacting to Maka's attack on Makinde's, the acting State Publicity Secretary Michael Ogunsina said Makinde's remark about the situation of the country mirrors nothing but the truth, and asked the APC and its leaders to be humble and remorseful and even beg Nigerians for forgiveness. The PDP strongly condemned the APC's attack on Makinde's for speaking out for the Nigerian masses who had been subjected to untold hardship by the APC administration, and described the attack as a reckless, insensitive and reprehensible display of their arrogancy and failure through it lies sabotage, falsehood, suppressive policies, and crass impotency in governance. Independent National Electoral Commission has reinstated its readiness to conduct free and fair governorship election in Ondo State on November 16. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this during his readiness assessment visit to INEC local government area office in Ondo State on Tuesday. Yakubu, who physically visited some of the Commission's local government area offices, said that all the non-sensitive materials were already at the LG offices. According to the INEC boss, the bimodal voters accreditation system (BVAS) machine had been charged and configured, adding that they would be deployed along with the sensitive materials to the local government areas. He therefore promised to continue improving on the Commission's activities and say that the life jacket would be deployed to all officials going to riverine areas of the state. In a bid to reduce emissions and promote sustainable, eco-friendly environments, the Ogun State government has engaged relevant stakeholders towards ensuring a seamless conversion of premium motor spirits vehicles to compressed natural gas power. Commissioner for Environment Ola Oresanya said the program would engage staffers on quality and safer inspection of CNG-powered vehicles and refueling stations by relevant regulators. Osaranya, who disclosed this during a 3-day workshop on application of Nigerian industry. The Ministry is in conjunction with the Standard Organization of Nigeria in Abeokuta argued that in achieving a safer environment for CNG usage, synergy with other relevant ministries, departments and agencies, including ministries of transportation, fire services, and those in charge of registration of the gas station, among others, must be adopted. He said the safety decks had been set up to regulate and ensure safety manufacturer, distribution and handling of all the gases in the state, as well as the division of gas handlers into commercial and industrial sectors, and urge all stakeholders involving in exercise to adhere to standard and prioritize safety such that both regulatory requirements and protection of the health and welfare of our communities were maintained. On his part, Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Benga Dairo, said the present administration in the state was committed to supporting the initiative due to its and reduction of the emission, adding that adequate enforcement and regulations must be adhered to for a safer environment. Ekiti State Chief Judge Justice Oyewole Adeyeye has passed away after a brief illness. The sad news was confirmed by the Registrar of the Ekiti State Judiciary, Olayinke Adegoke. A statement released by the Judiciary's Public Relations Officer Michael Oba Adegoke paid tribute to the late Chief Judge, describing him as a respected judge who dedicated his life to upholding the principles of fairness, equality and justice. A statement said the contributions of the late Judge Chief to the Judiciary and Ekiti State as a whole are immeasurable, and his legacy will be deeply missed. Chief George, also born in 1960 in Aroromi, Abosi, Ekiti, East local government area, Nigerian bar in 1980. Appointed Chief George of Ekiti State in October 2001, a role in which he served with distinctive unit until his passing. Operatives of the Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested at least 5 suspected kidnappers and rescued 14 victims. By the command spokesperson Raham Nassel, the operation was carried out by the officers from the Toto Division in collaboration with community youth and took place when officers stormed a heavy forested area bordering with FCT and Kogi State. The 5 arrested suspects were identified as Shaibu Garba, Umar Mohammed, Yakubu Kasim, Mustafa Adamu, and Abdullah Mohammed. FCT Minister Yesom Wike says his administration will provide quality infrastructure and all the social amenities while serving as FCT Minister. The Minister of FCT Yesom Wike, 5th October 2024, of the ongoing 6-lane construction project at Apo Oseg 11 to Wose Lokoma and other adjoining road in Abuja.
Still, what we have said about the Hope agenda to open up all the areas of Abuja, just to see where we are and look at the joy of the people that we have come to attend to this particular area. And that's what we are seeing every day. All looks like places, everybody wants their own area to be touched. We came up from the Osaks too. Now you see what CGT is doing on the dual carriage, 2-lane. Now we want to expand because that alone will not reduce the traffic as we want it. So there's the need that we have to do another 6-lane to take it down to what they are doing. In that case, we'll be able to have reduced into Lokoboma. Then in that case, we'll be able to reduce the traffic up to 1935.
According to the minister, it is a desire of the President Bola Tinubu to touch lives in the satellite towns of FCT by providing infrastructure for them and also express satisfaction on the work of contractors for the quality works done so far.
Like I've said, it is the directive of Mr. President to see that all areas, not only the city but also in the satellite towns, are all opened up with road infrastructure. You will not believe it now that all the roads we are doing in satellite towns are going to be provided with solar light, which has not happened. So it's wonderful. We're happy with what we're seeing, and we're happy with what the contractors are doing. Indeed, the Hope agenda is a reality, it's working. People can see with their eyes. It's not that you are told. Very much confident. Of course, you remember that they did the powerhouse area, went to Asokoro with what they have done there. And what we saw now, look at the level of the stone base. And when she did that, they also put 2 layers of asphalt, binding and wearing the cost of. We are very comfortable with them.
Police in Niger State says 2 suspected tricycle robbers arrested in Mina Motor Parade are presently calling their heels in the custody of the police for robbing a victim of his mobile phone. The State Police Public Relations Officer SP Wausu Abiodun in Mina said the suspects were picked up by the officers of Bakungo Police Division with credible intelligence reports adding that the victims boarded a tricycle from Gidan, Kwano area of Dama and meet 2 passengers therein, and while on their ways close to Dama, 2 passengers conspired attack and robbed him of his phones and escaped into the nearby bush. He also said during interrogation that the suspect confessed to the crime and all the similar robberies. Nigerian Air Force has killed a high-ranking Islamic State West African Province commander Bashar Dauda in Mata local government area of Borno State. The airstrike by the NAF also led to the death of 50 fighters while destroying ISWAP supply depot in the Jobolaram enclave, which were filled with a substantial of food and essential items. A statement by NAF spokesperson AIM Commando Olusola Akimboyewa on Tuesday said NAF conducted a series of 8 interdictions targeting 3 significant enclaves of Islamic State West African Province terrorists in the Meta local government area on October 31st. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out the charges brought against a total of 119 bad governance protesters. All 119 protesters were arraigned on Friday, November 1 on no charges bordering on treason, felony, inciting a mutiny among others, and were arraigned in 2 batches at the previous proceedings. The first batch comprised a total of 76 protesters, while including 32 minors, and the second batch a total of 43 protesters. The trial judge, Justice Obiara Egwautu, struck out the suit following an application by the Council to the Attorney General of the Federation, MD Abubakar, to take over and discontinue the matter. Vice President Kashim Shettima says his principal President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the release of the minors facing trials for treason on compensation grounds. The VP said there was incontrovertible digital videos and photographic evidence of the preparations and actions of some of the protesters, while were uploaded by the actors themselves, and lamented that the nation lost about 300 million naira from the construction and halted of economic activities orchestrated by the protesters. The VP said this on Tuesday while receiving the minors at the presidential villa shortly after their charges were dropped by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. This is coming after they released 114 bad governance protesters, minors and adults, who were earlier arraigned by the Nigerian police force and discharged by the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, arrived at the presidential villa at noon today. Justice Obiara Egwautu had earlier struck out the case against the protesters as requested by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, led by the Lateef Fagbemi. Northern Senators Forum has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for showing leadership in ordering the release of the minors arrested and detained during the bad governance protests. The chairman of the forum, Senator Abdurazik Yahadua, who indicated this in a statement released in Abuja, said the president's decision was a demonstration of his commitment to protecting the rights and the well-being of Nigerian youth. The forum appreciated the president's shows of leadership in addressing the critical issues and also acknowledged the efforts of the leaders in the north who have worked assiduously to secure the release of the minors. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has decorated the acting chief of army staff Olufemi Oluyede, a lieutenant general. The short ceremony took place in the president's office complex at the State House, Abuja. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu had appointed Oluyede as the acting chief of army staff last Wednesday, even after his predecessor, Torut Lagbaja, had remained indisposed for weeks. House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Power, Bridget's Budget Planning and Economic Development and other concerned ministries, departments and agencies MDS to appear before it. Chairman of the House Committee on Renewable Energy Committee, Honorable Afam Ogene, gave the rulings in Abuja on Wednesday following the absence of the ministers and other heads of agencies at the commencement of the 2 days investigative hearing on government investment and grants received for renewable energy developments from 2015 till date. Honorable Ogene said the committee finds it very distasteful that the sector's renewable energy were all absent and vow that the House will get to the root of the investigation.
We are not after any individual or particular agencies, but they must come to answer to the Parliament. If there have been lackadaisical in handling other committees, this is a different committee. We will take it a little easy because today is the first day of the hearing. By tomorrow, I don't think that we will be this lax in dealing with people that we have invited over time. This process started since June, and there is no organization so summoned that have not received, in the minimum, 3 letters from this committee.
Earlier, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, while declaring the hearing open, said the exercise is not to winch horns but to identify the challenges and proper solutions.
I commend the committee for its commitment to overseeing the sector and ensuring that the investment made serve the public interest. Since 2015, Nigeria has attracted billions of dollars in grants and investment into renewable energy. These funds were intended to revolutionize our energy infrastructure, reduce our dependency on fossil fuel, and untimely address our pressing electricity challenges. However, despite this considerable investment, access to stable and reliable electricity remains a struggle for many or all Nigerians. Our goal is to better understand how the Parliament can support the renewable energy sector in a way that drives real, measurable change.
This is coming after on 6th of June 2024, the House resolved to probe investment and grants received for renewable energy development since 2015 following a notion raised by Honorable Judge Olukalusi. Chief Judge of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere Edom, says the deployment of technology in telecommunications plays a pivotal role in the advancement and enhancement of the economic system of any country and invariably stands as the dividing force towards globalization. Kekere Edom, who discloses at the opening ceremony of the 2024 National Workshop for Justice and Judges on Legal Issues in the Telecommunication organized by the Nigerian Communications Commissions in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute in Abuja and Lagos on Thursday. She said the engagement such as the above mentioned has contributed to the expansion of the knowledge base of judicial officers with regards to emerging issues in the telecommunications sectors over the years, and she believes in the theme of the year's workshop, the role of the judiciary in accelerating digital transformation in Nigeria could not have come at a better time. She stressed on the increased risks of the personal data of the consumers being misused or compromised by unscrupulous persons, thus necessitating the need to improve strategies and innovation for consumers' protection in the telecommunications sectors and also observers and beneficiaries in the banking sector. The CNG said the major challenges posed by the electronic back transactions, which is commonplace in the banking sector, and commended the NCC for its assiduous effort of protecting consumers from the unfair practices by service providers, while assuring that the Nigerian judiciary is committed to the development of the telecommunication sectors and will continue to ensure coherence in the interpretations of the relevant laws as well as transparency and efficiency in the dispensation of justice. Abuja High Court has adjourned until November 11 hearing of the motion filed by the former governor of Taraba, Darius Issaku, and challenging jurisdiction to hear the alleged 27 billion naira fraud referred against him. This is coming after the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC Arani Shaku and the former permanent secretary of Barriers for Local Government and Chieftaincy Face Bello Yaro on the 15 count charges. The presiding judge Selvanus Oreji adjourned the matter after both counsel to the defendant told the court that they had filed preliminary objections before the court. Justice Oji adjourned until November 13 for hearing of the two motions, while after resumed hearing of the matter on Tuesday, the prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacob told the court that the matter was slotted for trials, adding that he was served with preliminary objections by both counsel for the defendants. Responding, the first defendant's counsel Paul Harris Ogbole told the court that they served the motion on the prosecution on Monday. New Minister of Education Dr. Tarjun Alusa has abolished the 18-year admission benchmark for tertiary institutions in the country. He also heard that the possibility of reviewing the nation's education policy, other than that, there would be no reversal of the federal government decision to void over 22,700 degree certificate obtained by the Nigerians from some fake universities in the neighboring Togo and Benin Republic. Aluswa, who disclosed this at his inaugural ministerial press conference in Abuja, also said practical education will help to address the unemployment situation in Nigeria, and tertiary institutions will not continue to churn out graduates every year without providing jobs for them. He assured that the federal government will collaborate with private sector operators to train students and unleash their potentials, while universities of agriculture will be empowered by adopted commercial farming practices to combat food insecurity. And now to some business reports. Honorable Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology Chief Uche Naji says Nigeria requires accurate, reliable and timely energy data to drive and tackle the energy transition process. He disclosed this statement at the official launch of the computerized National Energy Information System held at the ECOWAS headquarters, Abuja, that the Energy Commission of Nigeria is cognizant of the need to improve energy data collection method by setting up systems which responds to the country's data needs to include all sectors of the economy to improve economic data quality and coverage. He said the computerized National Energy Information System was conceived to dematerialize data collection, reduce data entry error and processing time, improve the speed of data dissemination, and improve data quality, while the occasion intended to usher in an innovative approach to the collection, collation, harmonization, validation, and dissemination of energy data. Earlier in this welcome address, the Director General of the CEO Energy Commission of the Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Mustafa, said the commission is charged with the responsibility for strategic plannings and coordination of national policies in the field of energies in all its ramifications. He also said the coalition data would serve as input into the development, operation and maintenance of the National Energy Information System, which will be assessed by researchers, development partners, individuals and organizations to plan, make information decisions and take effective actions in the management of the energy supply, use and costs. Standards Organizations of Nigeria has called for the collaboration with the professionals in the public and private sectors to ensure sustainable buildings and construction practices in the country. Director General of SAN, Dr. Ifeanyi Okeke, who disclosed this while introducing the forthcoming national conference on the building sector, scheduled for November 12 at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja, said the conference, which has adherence to standard practices, bedrock of sustainable development in the building sector, as team aim to bring together key stakeholders, reposition the building sector for safety, growth and sustainability. A statement signed by the Director of Public Relations Development Department son, Mrs. Foloso Bolaji, said the theme was up to support the nation's economic growth and stress the importance of activities participation for professionals and stakeholders, as their expertise and insight are crucial in addressing the challenges and the recurrent issues in the building sector. He also said effective collaboration among stakeholders and operators in the building sectors will encourage increased investment for economic growth, adding that it's aligned with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which focuses on providing affordable, quality and safe housing for all, stimulating economic growth and creating job opportunities in the housing sectors, and listed the objective to include repositioning the building sector for safety, growth, sustainability, and fostering effective collaboration among stakeholders and operators, and also encourage increased investment for economic growth to align with. Thousands of youth stormed the headquarters of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Monday, demanding the immediate resignation of the Group Chief Executive Officer of the company, Malekari. The protesters carrying placards with different inscriptions such as "We demand the immediate resignation of Kari," among others, said the leadership of the NNPC boss has failed and led by some civil society organization described Kari's leadership as incompetent, citing skyrocketing fuel price, endless fuel queue and economic hardship in Nigeria. The protesters, numbered with aggrieved youth led by Abdullahi Bila of the 2 million men march against oil scout Kabul, and Barrister Napoleon Otache and Olayemi Isaac from Citizens, and economic freedom rights activists in Nigeria, demand immediate action to address what they describe as failed leadership in managing country's oil sector. Central to the protests were grievances over skyrocketing fuel price and the never-ending queue, which they argued have driven inflation and plunged millions of Nigerians into poverty, and also decried the importations of the adulterated fuel, which they said is a corrupt practice that harms citizens by damaging vehicles and businesses. They demanded an immediate halt to these imports and accountability for those responsible, questioning how substandard fuel continue to enter the country despite quality control assurances, and also criticized the unfulfilled promise of Dangote refinery to resolve Nigerians' fuel crisis, expressing frustration over the billions of dollars spent on refinery development and refurbishing existing facilities. Average price of import high-quality rice sold loose has surged by 144.77% year-on-year as the federal government delay implementing its duty-free food policy. According to the selected food price report from the National Bureau of Statistics in July 2024, the federal government declares a 150 days duty-free import windows for the food commodities as it stepped up effort to tackle rising inflation, which has impoverished many Nigerians. The commodities including maize, hard brown rice, wheat and cowpeas under its arrangement imported food commodities will be subjected to a recommended retail price, adding that although there are claims and reports that the policy has started, the government has not officially made this public as efforts to get it confirmed have remained unsuccessful. Medium grain rice also recorded a 3.83% increase from July, and a rising trend extended to wheat flour, particularly golden penny 2 kg packs, while the government's bureaucratic process and the failure of the Federal Ministry of Finance to publish a list of importers qualified for participating in the process as required by the guidelines earlier issued by the custom in August were cited as a reason for the delay in the commencement of the scheme. MBS inflation data further showed a sharp rise in both food inflation and imported food inflation in September 2024. Federal government has opened its portal for application for the Presidential Grant and Loan Scheme for macro, small and medium enterprises, and prospective beneficiaries have been urged to apply in time as the application shall be treated as first come first served basis. The Akwa Ibom State Manager of the Bank of Industry, Tolupe Towase, who gave the charge in his remarks during the formal launch of the scheme on Tuesday in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State said the federal government has already earmarked a 75 billion naira loan to be assessed by the prospective beneficiaries across the state, including the FCT. Towase said any applicant who comes out successfully and meets all the requirements shall be given a 1 million naira loan to boost their business's operation, adding that repayment plan shall span for 3 years and shall be made on a monthly basis with an interest rate of the single digit. In his remark, Commissioner for Trade and Investment in Akwa Ibom, John James, said the importance of SMSEs in every economy cannot be overemphasized, describing it as a backbone and highest employers of labor in Nigeria, while thanking the Nigerian government for the outcome intervention to MSMEs. The commissioner advised the prospective beneficiaries to ensure they channel the money to the appropriate businesses and not divert it to other things. Still ahead, international tidbits. Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Tode Gumela, has declared plans to install surveillance cameras in all state bodies of his, adding that the sweeping measures in part of the ongoing effort to ensure strict adherence to public services laws and combat misconduct among officials. The country's Director General National Financial Investigation Agency in Equatorial Guinea, Baltasar Enoga, who was arrested for allegedly recording over 400 sex tapes of the wives of the notable people in the country, while the scandal emerged in the course of the fraud investigation against the 54-year-old economist, which resulted in a search of his house and office to impromptu notice by ANIF officials who came across several CDs that later revealed his sex capable with different married women. The CCTV initiative unveiled in an expose on Tuesday, according to him, underscored the administration's commitment to transparency and accountability and the new surveillance policy aimed to deter acts that could undermine public trust and to ethical standard expected of the public servants. The timeline for the complete rollout and the expect scope of the surveillance have yet to be detailed, and the government has assured that the initiatives align with the existing legal framework aimed at strengthening governance and safeguarding public resources. The VP also said the installation of the surveillance system in state offices signal a resolve standard against corruption and misconduct, marking a pivotal step in the fostering an atmosphere of transparency and trust within public office. Earlier, the VP on Monday declared that the government will immediately suspend any officials involved in sexual relations within ministerial offices as it violated code of conduct and public ethics laws, adding that the decisive action reinforce a zero-tolerance policy towards behaviors that undermine public service integrity. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto will visit China and meet its leader Xi Jinping this week, and both nations will speak on the phased foreign tour to seek more prominent position for Jakarta on the world stage. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hao Chongyang said in a statement that the 73-year-old ex-general state visit will take place from Friday to Sunday, and the visit would aim to push China-Indonesia relations to a new level. China is ready to work with Indonesia to take its visit as the opportunity to consolidate high-level political mutual trust. The Foreign Ministry Mo Ying said Yang will hold a welcome ceremony for the Indonesian leaders, and the two will hold talks. This is coming after Indonesia and Russia kicked off their first joint naval drills on Monday. TikTok is being sued by 7 families in France who accuse the social media giant of exposing their children to harmful content, leading to 2 text their own wives. Lo Breton Marino, a lawyer from the family, said the case alleged that video platform Grooming exposed them to content promoting self-harm, eating disorder and suicide. She told France media that the lawsuit was the first in its kind in Europe, and TikTok, which is one of the world's most popular social media platforms, said it had not received any notification of legal proceedings relating to the claims. The company added in a statement that its community guidelines do not allow for the showing, promoting or sharing plans for suicide or self-harms, and that it sues a combination of the technology and moderation to ensure these standards are upheld. The group's lawsuit, which has been filed in the Cretel Judicial Court, is separate to the criminal complaints filed against TikTok last year by the parents of the married, as well as one of the 2 teenagers who killed herself. And sports news. Super Falcons of Nigeria will take on France in the high-profile friendly on Saturday, November 30, 2024. The friendly will take place at the star-dead Raymond Kappa in the city of the Angers, and the encounter will kick off at 9:30 p.m. France time. It is only the 7th time in their history that the Les Bears will play in the city of Angers. This is coming after the Super Falcons played 2 friendlies against Algeria last month. Justin Madugu's side lodges the Green Ladies 2-0 and 4-1 in games played in Kenya, Romo and Lagos respectively. Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman has been named in Series A Team of the Week. Lookman was the hero of the Atalanta 3-0 victory over the league leaders Napoli, and the 27-year-old scored twice at the Estadio Diego Armando Maradona. The Nigerian has now scored 6 goals and registered 4 assists in the 8th-link appearance for the La Day this season, while 3 of the Atalanta teammates, Charles De Ketelere, Edorsin and Isakinen, also make the selection. De Ketelere bags an assist in the thrilling encounter. And now to entertainment reports. Nigerian beauty queen Chidinma Adesina has been ranked second in the World Miss Universe pre-arrival hot peak. This was revealed in a viral pre-arrival poll on Tuesday that the 23-year-old was ranked ahead of the 73rd edition of the Global Miss Universe pageant on November 16, 2024. This is coming after Chidinma arrived in Mexico in October 2024 to compete for the crown. Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage says she used to be billed as a high school student and has put it behind her because she is now rich and famous. Savage sent her love message to her bullies and said to the girls that used to bully me, "I love ya." She also said she is popular and rich now. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculate Irekana. Join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good morning.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.